Welcome back. You're still watching The Perspective, and we have His Excellency Mr. Gurjit Singh, the Ambassador of India for Indonesia. Ambassador, we've talked about the cultural front, the social front of the Festival of India, of Sahabat India. What about the economic side of it? Trade, political? I'm sure that transpires as well between the two countries, because at the end of the day, these exchanges, economic trade exchanges, are also very important to both countries.
Indeed, particularly because India is a very strong economic partner of Indonesia.
Yeah.
We have trade of about $20 billion, and Indonesia runs a trade surplus of nearly $10 billion with us.
With India.
We also have $15 billion of investment in Indonesia, and Indian companies have created 250,000 jobs. So there is a great expectation that under the new regime of President Jokowi, there will be far greater opportunities. And we are trying to focus ourselves to go beyond textiles and mining into infrastructure development, into services. And we're also trying to attract Indonesian companies to India to come and look at our Make in India program, come and look at the Smart Cities program, come and look at the Digital India program. And Digital India reminds me, one among the many exhibitions that we had here was a wonderful exhibition on Digital India, how we started and how today we go to Mars and the moon. And that exhibition was very well received. We also had a wonderful exhibition on the history of Indian cinema. So in fact, there have been so many events that in one shot I cannot even remember all of them unless I refer to a book. We have also brought a very important business delegation from the Confederation of Indian Industry, which came with investment proposals to discuss them. And many Indian companies already here are trying to reinvest. So right now, we are in a phase of engaging with the new government, finding out its priorities, seeing how we can work. And we have had a lot of meetings during the festival period because many of the ministers have been good enough to come to our events. I have also been focusing on the regional part, so because many opportunities are regional. So the fact that we took many of our cultural events to the regions, we also met the governors, the mayors, the BKPM, the Kadin over there, who would come to see the culture, but we would also talk business.
Okay, while we're on the subject, Ambassador, as I'm sure you've been following closely since Jokowi took office, and then all the decisions and policies that he's made, and also his cabinet. How are the general feel from the Indian business community or trade, or in fact the government, about Jokowi's administration?
From the government point of view, we think Indonesia, like India, is on the same page. We are doing the same thing, trying to have development rapid in a democratic framework after a new government was elected. We know the challenges because we face the same challenges. At the same time, the speed at which business wants action, whether in India or in Indonesia, is also a different speed. So the Indian businessmen here want more clarity of policy, more clarity of how to get things done, and whether the new initiatives will be implemented with speed. So I think those are the things they are looking at. They know, they hear many things, but when will they actually happen?
Take place.
Take effect. And how will they happen? Those. So as an embassy, we are trying to facilitate contact with the government agencies, with the regional agencies to say, okay, this is how the thing happens. And I think through the India Business Forum, we've had some successful engagement, but of course, this is tremendous work in progress.
And one last question on that. What do you think can Indonesia learn from India in terms of accelerating development and all its infrastructure programs towards harnessing more investors into the country?
I think it's only a sense of priorities. I think the two significant things which are different. One, I think in India, our Prime Minister has marketed Digital India, Make in India, smart cities as concepts, which have become ballistic. So as a result, under them, there is a huge emphasis on manufacturing, services, and infrastructure. This is exactly what's happening here, but the marketing is different. Similarly, the other aspect is that we are looking at harnessing the skills development of a very massive young population. We have a separate ministry now for skill development. I think over here, the emphasis on skill development is a bit muted. I think that is where a greater emphasis has to come. Otherwise, I think the problems which are global, the problems which are regional and the problems which are national are similar in both countries. We just need to work together. I would say one of the biggest gaps is that Indian and Indonesian businessmen don't talk to each other often enough.
Why do you think that?
Oh, well, I think they're too busy chasing other people, where I think the relevance is in working with each other. And I think we encourage them not to give up, to engage and work together, because I think your businessmen and our businessmen together can have a huge potential partnership. And I'm trying to promote the concept. Why don't we do a smart city in India and a smart city in Indonesia? Let's bring our concepts, technology, companies together
and see how it can complement each other. All right, we'll move on to International Day of Yoga.